Good day and welcome back to another DB Legends video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Jeice and Burter unit and basically get a pretty good idea as to how good they are, what you should do with them, how do you build them, what kind of equipment, etc. So Jeice and Burter, they are obviously Ginyu Force, Frieza Saga kind of orientated, and they couple very well with the latest Ginyu to come out. So them, Ginyu, Raccoon, and Gildo are kind of like a all-in-one package. You stick all three of them in your team, you use all three of them, and you tend to have a pretty good time. Now basically Jeice and Burter are the vanishing kind of unit, so they have ways to restore their vanishing gauge, different effects between the two of them. Burter affects the enemy's key recovery. Jeice reduces their con draw speed. Their special moves will charge their own switch gauge. Now, the thing that's super interesting between them is basically, when you switch, you get vanishing gauge. So, Jeice switching to Burter switches the element to blue type, increases your health, increases your damage done, and restores your vanishing gauge by 70%, which is pretty big. Then Burter, when he switches to Jeice, restores his own health, gets the damage inflicted, but then also nullifies enemies' cover change. So that's pretty good. The unique abilities, when they change in cover, they draw a special arts card, they randomly destroy one enemy card, they have special cover change as well. And Jeice, he also debuffs the opposition health restoration. Burter, he can reduce the enemy's Dragon Balls. And so between the two of them, they have like a lot going on. Now, if you're Jeice, you have certain effects that will take place depending on how many Strike or Blast Arts cards you have hit. So for every time you hit with one, you get 30% of damage inflicted. 2 times you draw a special move arts card next. 3 times you inflict the enemy with attribute downgrade plus 10% to damage received. And this will reset every time you switch. With Burter, things are a bit different. When you vanishing step, you'll increase your arts card draw speed. You'll restore your own vanishing gauge by 70%, which resets after the tag switch. And apply the buff effect, nullify enemy special actions that activate when cover change to self for 5 timer counts. So Burter is kind of a little bit reliant on that vanishing step, but it's not too much of an issue because whenever you switch into him, you gain 70% back on your vanishing step. Then when he vanish steps, he gains 70% back as well. So you can vanish step like 3 times in a row, because you can vanish step with the Jeice unit, then you can wait a little bit, switch into Burter, vanish step with him there, and then you get 70% back, and then you can vanish step again. So it's pretty nuts. You'll see some clips of people like almost triple vanish stepping, and yeah, it can definitely look pretty hacks. I think a lot of people probably find it looks pretty hacks, especially when you're seeing it as a opponent and you're not really seeing it as like a player. Like if you don't know what they do or you don't know what their passive is, then when you see it, it's probably super strange. So that's kind of the gist of Jeice and Burter. In terms of their gear, they do have 2 really interesting silver equips actually that are restricted to Jeice and Burter units that just so happen to line up really, really well with them. And then there is also the Awakened Frieza Force silver equip, which is also pretty good. If you have them over 7 stars, there is the new gold equip that you can utilize as well, which is pretty good. And yeah, there's just generally a pretty decent kind of utilization of coverage here. So some pretty good stuff, I would say, personally speaking. I think overall some very, very, very solid, performance. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, just very good, just very good stuff. I think most times sparking units are a bit of a mixed bag, and I think with all 3 Ginyu Force units, they really hit the mark with all 3 sparking units. I think they're all really, really good. Now their synergy with Ginyu is a little bit different. They don't have like direct synergy with them. They do have some of their effects, that are based on the amount of Ginyu Force, Frieza Force members on their team. They do have some, additional buffs that they provide. And also, of course, they have the Rising Rush special arts move counter ability and reduction of sub counter, which is good. It allows you to sub them in a little bit more often, which is obviously something you want. Now, they're good. They're very good. They can do some good damage. They can combo into each other well. If you manage to switch between Jeice and Burter, you can really feel oppressive to your enemy, because you can switch into Jeice, you can gain a whole bunch of these buffs, do some big damage, guarantee yourself a special arts card draw. Then you can switch out to Burter, get your Vanishing Step back, Vanish Step the opposition, Vanish Step them again, and then you can pretty much continue to do the same thing that you've been doing, just with obviously Jeice and Burter and everything. So I think it is pretty oppressive. It is probably like a more suffocating playstyle, which I think is good. It's got really nice synergy with Ginyu. Neither of them are super tanky. That's kind of where Raccoon and Gildo come in. Jeice and Burter are decently tanky, but a lot of the times it's about mastering the Vanishing Step more than it is about like intrinsically doing different kinds of tankiness. Like, you don't get tankiness from abilities and things like that. So you're better off just managing your Vanishing Step and really juggling the play movements and the switch and the when you're Vanishing Stepping, more so than if you're just like trying to just be tanky by using a green card or something like that. So it's pretty decent, I would say. Overall, I think they are really, really good. The cover change is nice. The nullification of cover change is also really nice. I think they have enough that it makes you really value what they bring to the table, and I think you can feel that they're pretty decent. Especially Jeice. I don't know if it's just me, but I really like Jeice. I think Jeice is really, really good. Switching into Burter is also really, really good, but I really like opening up with Jeice. Maybe it's the fact that he draws that special arts card. Maybe it's just the amount of damage he can do. But he feels very good. Feels like a very good opening unit from a damage perspective. I think ultimately at the end of the day, both of them are very, very good. I think you have to always consider with Switch units which one you're more comfortable with. And when I say that, I mean more so on the kind of point as two sides of the Switch unit are not always going to feel the same to people. For example, Goku, Frieza, both sides are very, very good. Some people predominantly enjoy using Frieza. Other people enjoy, maining in on Goku. If you have a strong blue unit, you don't really need to switch into Frieza as much. Of course, you want to switch because you do want to get all the benefits. The units are designed to switch. But sometimes you favor a typing. Maybe a typing is more relevant. I think them having red and blue is pretty good. Red is always fine in the current meta, and blue is solid. Especially with all the red Vegetos, kind of flying around. I think blue is sitting in a pretty decent position. So overall, I would say Jeice and Burter pretty good. Don't have Raccoon and Gildo yet. I'll try to get them. So we will discuss maybe which one's better, but I really do like Jeice and Burter. At this point in time, I think them and Captain Ginyu make a pretty fun combination. I think they bring enough to the table. I think they're very, very good. And I just think at the end of the day, kind of have to, decide for yourself if you think a unit is holistically viable. And for me, I think Jeice and Burter are super duper solid. Obviously, the Ginyu forces were kind of designed to be together. But I do think Jeice and Burter are good enough that you can make them work. But the thing is they're obviously still restricted. You know, they're still an episode Frieza saga. They're still a Ginyu Force unit. It doesn't really, you can't really change that. That's where there's the abilities are. But yeah, I think overall they are very, very good. And I think, they bring a decent chunk to the table. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, they're just a fun unit that, you can just have a good time with. But yeah, for me, I'll probably say Jeice Burter, hell of a lot of fun. They obviously have that kind of, I don't think they'll last long in the meta. That's like, it's going to depend on how heavy you go in on the Ginyu Force banner. Ginyu Force will not be getting buffs anytime soon. After this, it's not like they're going to religiously come back to the Ginyu Force and buff it and keep track of it and things like that. So I don't think they have a long time in the meta, but I think they definitely are a decent unit in the current meta. But yeah, that's going to be it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.